Everyone, I'm back and I am doing my second round of Painting Your Path interviews today. This morning I was talking with Georgina Sanchez, brand strategist, and this evening I am so happy and excited to talk with my good friend Malia. She is a music theorist and just super cool gal who I love so much. Hello, Malia. She is here. I am going to see if I can bring her on. Oh, why does it say unable to join? Oh, maybe that changed. Here we go. Go. How was your day today, everybody? Let me know.
Yes.
Malia! Yay! Oh my gosh, friend. I miss you.
I miss you too. This is so...
Oh my gosh.
I want to say, like, I have to really just compliment you on just showing up and doing this weekly, right? For all of the women that you wrote about in your book. And
oh, thank you.
Thank you for having me, because I'm not in your book, so I feel like really honored that you even asked me.
Oh, you are so sweet. Oh my gosh, friend. And you know, whenever I was like, okay, who am I going to talk to? And I was like, why haven't I asked Malia? So girl, like, you know, you're always on my mind, and
Thanks.
It just kind of like clicked for me. So,
Thank you.
my goodness.
Well,
yes.
I just feel like super honored. So thank you, Clarissa.
My gosh.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
Like, I feel special.
Oh, you are special, friend. You know, I know we haven't gone around the Rose Bowl for a while.
I
And
know.
we haven't gotten together lately.
You know what,
but...
Clarissa? I don't even think I can make it around the Rose Bowl. Like, to be honest, I just like I mean, I am working on my health and stuff, but definitely I feel like I definitely have a different kind of exhaustion that I haven't had before. So I am working on it, though.
I hear you, friend. And you know, and me too. Like, I only recently started going around the Rose Bowl again, like semi recently, and
it's crowded down there. Really crowded.
Yeah, the times that I've gone, like I am with like other friends. We're all, you know, masked and everything, and we're just trying to keep our distance as best we can. Hi, Cooper.
So Cooper, as everybody knows, dogs really feel energy. Are you drinking wine?
I am. And I meant to tell you. Oh, good.
So am I.
Yay. So, I'm glad.
So am I. But just to be clear, I don't drink wine when I have to teach on Zoom. But,
yes.
But
fair enough.
For now, I did. But so dogs really feel your energy. And so he must feel that, like, I'm feeling happy or joyful or something, because he went to go get his bone. And
oh my gosh.
Cooper only gets his bone when he feels like really content and like everything's good and happy. So that's a good sign.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And I love walking with him whenever we would walk, you know, he's so sweet, but,
he's a sweet boy.
It's such a sweet boy. But you know, I feel kind of exhausted, like mentally.
Yes.
Like I feel like the brain fog, and I'm noticing that I'm forgetting things. So trying to repair that. And, you know, I don't know if it's COVID, I don't know what it is, but I've just noticed I'm a little bit more forgetful these days. So trying to turn that around.
I don't have an explanation for it, but I can relate to it. Definitely.
Yes.
I think a lot of us are feeling that way. There is a sense of detachment since everything is online. There's very little human interaction. I mean, the most human interaction I have now is going to Starbucks, and I cherish those minutes that I get to see the same people every day. But everybody else it's all virtual, and that has to take some kind of psychological toll. I mean, you're the expert at that.
Yeah, there is such thing as Zoom fatigue. That is real.
Zoom fatigue is a real thing.
It's real.
Yeah. Yes. Well, Zoom fatigue is really about the inability to read the room. It's a real different from being in person, where you can really feel what other people are feeling, you know, through their vibrations, through their energy, and also through their facial expressions. You can read all that. And when you're in the virtual space, it's just, it's impossible. Like you're trying so hard. You're working like 1,000 times harder to try to read the room. And that's where the fatigue comes in.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it is. It is exhausting. My goodness. And my friend Mary is on, and she said today is actually National Drink Wine Day. So look at that. Cheers, friend. Didn't even know that. Thank you, Mary, for letting us know.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have a sip to that.
I will have a sip to that too.
Please. So Malia, I would love for you just to share, because I love your background. I would love for you to just share a little bit about who you are and what you do, who you serve, and all those things.
Sure. I'll first say that Clarissa and I met at Kathy Heller's, what would we call it? Like an event.
Yes.
It's basically a creative entrepreneur event. If I have a glass of wine, I can't say entrepreneur. So, but we met there. And so I'll try to like weave in the entrepreneur side of it. But I'm a musician, and like all musicians, I think, you know, I've gone through a huge evolution, and I started off as a classical pianist and a professional pianist. I started teaching piano at a very young age. So my entrepreneurship really started very, very young, you know, and I had a lot of piano students. And I think a lot of musicians start out that way. I think that like we're really bred into being entrepreneurs just right from the start, because we're automatically, you know, training other musicians. So I wasn't working at the mall. I had my own little business when I was in high school. So I continued to just study piano, study music, and I went to undergrad at UC Santa Cruz. And I did my bachelor there, and I did my master's there as well. And I just became increasingly interested in 20th century modernism music, neoclassical music, especially the music of Stravinsky. And I think that I would call that like the peak of my piano career, where I performed a piano concerto. Like I won a concerto competition, and I was just working. I was in demand as a, you know, thank God I was in demand as a pianist, and I was working a lot as a pianist. I had about 24 piano students. I had multiple church jobs. I had multiple jobs at multiple institutions. So I was very lucky. And I probably at that time in my life, I saved the most money that I ever had before. And then I spent all that money on grad school. I decided to go back to school.
Yes.
And the thing is I love piano and I love teaching piano, but I wanted to be in the classroom. I wanted to be, I just wanted, I don't know. I think it was also like intellectually, I wanted to know more about music. So I decided to pursue my PhD in music theory. And I will say first and foremost that the PhD is not about being the smartest person in the room. It is not. Mm-hmm. It is about having the most curiosity and about constantly seeking answers, you know, seeking knowledge. So I did my doctorate in music theory. I was the only woman for 5 years. I was the only woman, and all of my seminars would be like me and the guys. Wow. So music theory is a very male-dominated field. So I got through that. It was the best and the worst part of my life. It was extremely hard. And then I was lucky enough in my second time in grad school going for music theory. I was very, very fortunate to be able to teach at UC Santa Barbara, teach theory. And I was very fortunate to be able to teach at Cal Lutheran, CLU. It's California Lutheran University in Thousand Oaks. I did that, and I just, like, I've always been in education. I've always been about, let's take this language and pass it down to the next generation. Let's create awesome musicians. And then I was very blessed and fortunate enough to get a job right out of grad school. And it wasn't a tenure track job, and that's very important to remember. It wasn't a tenure track job, but it was a full professorship at Occidental College, and that's what brought me to Occidental. Brought me to Pasadena. And Occidental, you know, that's where Barack Obama went. Barack Obama is my favorite president
Yes.
of all presidents. Of course, he has a daughter named Malia.
Yes.
And of course, he was born. He and I were born at the same hospital. So, you know,
Wow.
I just love Barack
Connection.
Obama.
Yes.
So anyway, I love my job at Occidental. There are things that I look back. I was there for a couple of years. There's things I look back that you know, maybe I maybe wasn't treated as fairly as a female professor, music professor. But I think everything that I experienced there, I grew from. And from there, I continued to, just because I've always been contingent faculty. I've always been adjunct faculty. And being in that position, and I'm not speaking for just myself, I'm speaking for all of those out there that are adjunct professors or, you know, teaching, you know, not in the tenure track line, which is a way to have a stable, you know, living. You know, the university system really exploits us, really exploits our labor. And it's been, it's something that when I first got into music education, I didn't realize it was going to be this bad. Like, I really didn't realize how exploited it was going to be. So it's been like a really, really hard lesson. And it wasn't until 2016 and 2017 where I really had the turning point, because I was on the market. I was constantly on the market. And you might know this, Clarissa, when you apply for an academic job, it's not like a 10-minute thing. I mean, it's something where, like, you have to put together a huge application. I'm sure this is like this in the corporate world. Like, you have to put together this intense application that would take me a week, you know? And so I would do that for all of these jobs. You have to be like very, you know, specific to the job. And I was applying out of state. I mean, I was applying everywhere to try to get a tenure track professorship. And it didn't happen for me. It's like my big, you know, failure. And of course, now I look at that now as the best thing to ever happen to me, right?
Yes.
But at the time, that hurt, you know, that hurt a lot. I could wallpaper my bathroom with rejection letters. I mean, that's how many times, like, you know, being in the music industry, rejection is, you know, it's every day. Like, you just have to build that kind of thick skin in the music industry anyway. But it still hurts, you know, it's still really hard. And then that coupled with, unfortunately, like a very unhealthy relationship that I was in, just 2015 and 2016 was really like, Malia, freaking wake up, you know? What are you going to do? Are you going to like keep applying to jobs, you know, where there's really a specific kind of person that keeps getting hired and it's not you? So, you know, for all like the, you know, music theory is really going through this reckoning right now where it's like, yeah, let's lift up people of color. Let's lift up women and all this kind of stuff. But you don't really see that in action. And that's like that's a whole other interview, Clarissa.
Yes. I know. We talk about it, you know, on our walks.
Yeah, totally. So, it was really like 2016, 2017. It wasn't like a one moment thing. It was like over the course of several months where I was like, I can't do this anymore. So F it, you know, I'm going to do, what am I going to do? Like, really think about what I want my path to be. Yes. So I was really interested in composition. I got into composition for a while. And then the big thing that really has taken me to where I am today is that I hired a coach. So I hired a business coach, and I highly recommend people hire a business coach when you need it. Hire Clarissa. Clarissa's a great business coach. But when you're ready, when you're at that crossroads, and
Yes.
you need help, right? That's where I was. I was at that crossroads where I really needed help, and I really thought I would go into the direction of, oh, like I was romanticizing, I want to be a film composer. You know, I want to like
Yeah.
I know, because I know a lot about music. You know, I've been studying for
Yes.
like,
Oh my gosh.
decades, right? So I really wanted to do that. I was writing a ton of music, and it was really fun. I was feeling just super energetic and creative, just like flowing out of me. And that's always a good sign. So I went to see this coach. Her name is Tess Taylor. Oh, are we still back? Okay, sorry. I think there was
Oh yeah.
a internet glitch. It's probably on my end. But I went to see a music career coach, and her name is Tess Taylor. She's of the National Association of Record Industry Professionals, NARP.com. And I had been binging all of her content. You know, she does these pitch sessions with music creators, and so I met with her in North Hollywood, and it was, awesome conversation. You okay, bud? You okay?
Bless you.
And then I showed her this thing that I was creating, which is this.
Yes.
Which is my music theory staff paper. I was getting ready to self-publish this, and it's something that had never been on the market. It's music manuscript paper, but it's just laid out differently. It's a hybrid of like different kinds of layouts, and it's really meant for the music theory student, because I've been teaching for so many years that I know what students need. And so I created this thing, and she saw it, and she was like speechless for a second and was so excited. And she's like, Malia, I need to talk to my attorney friends, and I need to get back to you on, like, she kind of took my, like, the whole music composing thing, film composer thing. She's just kind of like brushed that aside.
Yeah.
And she wanted to focus on that. And so she ended up sending me to the NAMM show, which is this huge music convention that I recommend that all musicians go to. Even if you're in academics, I recommend that everybody go to the NAMM show once in your life. And she told me how to talk to publishers. And basically I went up to several publishers. I had it in my mind. I really wanted Hal Leonard. I really wanted Hal Leonard to publish me, because they are the largest publisher of sheet music in the world. And so basically I went up to all of them, and I just started being friends. That's it. Like, I started developing a genuine relationship with all of those people. And I ended up getting published. And once I got this published with Hal Leonard, it just, that was sort of the first that then I was just able to start to publish a lot more. So then ever since then, I've published with them again. I published 2, and I have another one that I'm going to be publishing with them pretty soon. Not pretty soon. That's a lie. I have.
It's coming.
I have another one. I just published with Hal Leonard. I just published this
I love
Skills
it.
and Modes book.
Yes.
I just published this with them, and then I self-published, and I self-published. Yes. I self-published a lot. I taught myself how to do it, and I just did it. And I think that publishing with like traditionally with a publisher and self-publishing, I've done it both. There are benefits, obviously, to both of them. Obviously, yes. Hal Leonard, the distribution is totally huge, and they're getting my books out, internationally. Music stores are buying it. But self-publishing, it's kind of like for a musician being signed to a label. Like, are you signed to a label, or are you not signed to a label? Well, nowadays, nowadays you don't have to be signed to a label. Like, nowadays, it's sort of better to be an independent musician. at the beginning, because especially if you think your music is going to be placed into film and TV and, you know, making money that way. If you do that, you won't see any money from that. If you're signed with the label will take all of your money for that, basically, unless it's in your contract. But anyway, there are benefits to self-publishing, and self-publishing, I just think, honestly, with the stuff that I'm doing now, self-publishing, I think I can make a little bit more money with it. And I also don't want to wait a year. It takes a very long time for a publisher to get your stuff out there. So that's what I'm doing now. So I'm basically, I'm publishing a lot, and I am just building an e-commerce store, music theory shop online. And so I have like, you know, I have a lot of things going on, but I'm still a music professor. I'm at Cal State Channel Islands, which I absolutely love. Those are like my people, my students. I relate so much to them, honestly, much more than I relate to the students at Occidental. I love all my students, but I definitely feel like more connected to my Cal State students. So I've been thinking lately, you know, like I want to build music theory shop, and I want to have that be my main income, and I want to like quit my all my other stuff, right? But I think that for what I do, like one of the things in music theory is super technical, and it's kind of like exercise. Like if you don't do it, you lose it.
Yes.
You know, you lose the strength, and you lose that. You kind of lose that edge a little bit. And so it's so like intellectually stimulating to me to be a music theorist and to be talking about like all these geeky music theory things. I think that like, as I think about my path moving forward, I think I always want to still, you know, be associated with a university. I kind of feel like my dream would be, and you know, and I think dreams should evolve, you know, I think that they should change as you go. I think my dream would be like, I want to be, you know, associated with, you know, with a university and teach kind of when I want to teach.
Right.
You know, or teach like a very light load, teach a very light load. And then be able to do all the creative stuff I'm doing with Music Theory Shop. And the things that I teach, I'm building a program through Music Theory Shop that I hope to launch at some point. I'm trying to like give myself some grace. I can't do it all, you know, I can't, and it's not stuff that I can't hire anybody to do what I do. You know, it's very, very niche specific.
Yeah. Very specific.
So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah.
You are up to so much, and it just makes me smile. Like whenever I see your posts, whenever I saw your journal, right? You created a very cute journal.
Yes.
Yes.
I created a very cute journal. So this is
I love it.
This is one of the things that I self-published. I actually published 6 versions of this. They're all like, they all have their own little, you know, different musical names. Like this one is chanson, which is a French song.
Yes.
This one is Passacaglia, which is a Baroque form. Passacaglia like refers to a repeating bass line. This one is like the concerto. This one is like a light pink.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
I have 6 versions of these, and I've had this idea for like so long, and just during my winter break, I worked my ass off and just tried to bring this into fruition. Yeah, so there's nothing like it on the market. It's a music journal that sort of, you know, incorporates the stuff that you and I, you know, would talk about. Like it's got a vision board in there. That's nice. If you guys don't know, like Clarissa's like the queen of vision boards. Always leading the vision board workshops.
Yes.
It's got a vision board on there. It's got, yeah. And I would say that like everything I create is inspired by people that I know. So definitely like, you definitely inspired the vision board, you know, like I love it. I wouldn't have known even of a vision board until I went to your vision board, like for the first time.
And we talked about it, remember, after Kathy's workshop? I mean, that is really when I spoke it into, into life was, I have you to thank for that, because you, me, and Liz met at Whole Foods, and just, we were like, okay, what are we going to do? What's our next step? And for me, it was the vision board. And so you really helped me just get started with all of that.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But I love everything that you're up to. Are we good?
Oh, good. There, I think there's just a little Wi-Fi glitch.
Oh yeah. I feel like it's just everywhere. I love, so the comments, I love how you take action. Yes. Oh my gosh. I feel like we have both taken a lot of inspired action, since we've known each other and met each other.
For sure.
Figure out how to do it and do it. Yeah. And just do it messy. Like, I think, for me, it's just that's what took me so long to publish my book. Was I had the thought, and I kept thinking, and then finally, it was like, just do it already. And so, just get it done.
And you know what? Like, this isn't perfect. Like, I can tell you right now, there's no title on the spine here. And that's because I couldn't figure out how to do it. But it doesn't mean that I wasn't going to publish this just because I couldn't figure that one part out,
Absolutely.
I just feel like just get things done and get them out there. There's already 2 mistakes. I'm sorry to say there are 2 mistakes. One of my students found a mistake in my book. I was so mad because you know what? I paid a lot of money actually, because I think that you should definitely hire an editor no matter what.
Yes.
Self-publishing
for sure.
Or publishing with a standard publisher, traditional publishing. You have to shell out that money, and it's well worth it. And I definitely, like, that was good money, but there's still errors. Like, even though I had 5 PhDs, and I'm talking music theorists, PhDs, going through my book, there are still errors. And you know what? I still find errors in the textbooks that I teach in. So there are just, just do the best you can, and then just get it out into the world. And that's why there's called a second edition.
Exactly, right?
You can go in and you can figure out like what really worked, what needs to be changed, and so forth. So, but yeah, it's important to just get your stuff out there.
Yeah, keep moving forward. Yeah. And so when I saw your journals, I'm like, oh my God, that is so great. And I had no idea that you were working on those. And I'm actually going to publish some journals as well.
Oh, good.
So
good.
that's in the works. And I have a friend who is my friend who did my book. She's going to design the journals. So that is coming out. Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's like, I got so much work right now. So she's just trying to balance it in. So yeah, so that is coming.
That is good. I think that I don't know. I'm actually not really a journaling person, but I kind of like romanticize that I should be journaling.
I hear you.
I should be like really documenting every little part of my process. But I don't do it. Like honestly, Clarissa, in high school, like I started a diary and it would be good for 3 days. And then I just don't do it. And I've tried the artist way. I've tried doing
the morning pages.
Like the morning pages.
Yeah.
It's not for me, but I think that it's very valuable. Like I very much appreciate and like honor that people need to do that. I have other ways of, getting my ideas, bringing them to fruition. But yeah, I think journaling is really important. So it also, for what you're doing as, a coach, as like a business coach, it's nice to have that, like, it's kind of like putting out your system. Like this is a system, you've read a ton of books, you're a big reader, and, you're taking the best from all these authors and coaches and you know, experts, entrepreneurs, successful people that you study, you're taking the best and you're putting that into your own system, right? And I think
Yeah.
that, yeah, and I think that, you know, then you can, you know, you'll definitely market and use that in your, you know, in your own programs, in your own, you know, coaching programs, or, you know, whatever it is, your courses and whatnot. So I think
Yeah.
that,
100%.
yeah, I think that that's a really good thing for people to do. Yeah. Journals.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I, you know, and I don't do it. I definitely don't do it every day. I used to journal every day. I mean, and when I was a kid, I would journal. So it's something that I would do throughout my life. But it's like, I don't know, it just comes and goes in waves.
Right.
And
Gotcha.
the one thing that I'm more consistent with is like just noting three things. And I learned this from Alex Benayan in
Who's
his book,
Alex
The Third
Benayan?
Door. He wrote The Third
Oh, I do know
Door.
who that is. Yes, I know who that
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
And so, you know, so I heard this from him, and I feel like I've heard it at other places, but I'm just going to credit him because I remember him
Mhm.
saying that. And so the three things that I would journal are, you know, what did I love about today? What did I hate about today?
Mhm.
You know, things that I just don't want to do. And then what did I learn about myself? So those are really like the three questions that I have been, you know, relatively consistent with. And it's kind of cool to go back and see, you know, and see the change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. That is
And
really cool.
and you know what? I think my friend Mary, I'm not sure if she's still here, but she had a question for you. She said,
Oh,
what inspired you to play piano to begin with as a child? Has music always been part of your life?
right. And especially, like, I'm kind of speaking to those parents out there that are trying to get their kids to practice. Because
Yeah,
that's like, and you know, Clarissa, like you
I
took
took
piano lessons.
piano. Yep,
You know, the teacher is everything.
a hundred percent.
The teacher is everything.
Yeah.
So my parents never ever made me practice. Like never. They never would. I mean, they oh, I just heard a ka-ching on here.
Oh,
Means
that's always
I
great.
probably made a little bit of money, which is
I
good.
love it.
um
Awesome.
so my parents never forced me. I think what happened, it was just an abundance of encouragement. I felt like in the piano studio that I was in, Mrs. Friedman, she was my piano teacher, my first piano teacher. I started when I was 6. I
Mm.
think that I was just always like the youngest, and I just got a lot of encouragement, like, oh, you know, that was great. Like, play again. Like, it just, I don't know, it was just like a constant encouragement. And then I am from a musical family. I do have to say, my
Mm.
dad's a drummer. My, my uncle is a concert pianist and organist. But my uncle and I are very different musicians, and I definitely looked up to him and felt, and no matter, honestly, no matter how many degrees I get, I'll never be like my Uncle Gene. You know, he's really got like Mozart type, blessed with those kinds of God-given skills where he has a perfect pitch, can play in any style and improvise, and a bunch of skills that it's very hard to teach and it's very hard
Yeah.
to learn unless you start at a very young age. And I didn't really have that. I'm the type of person where I have to work very, very hard to learn something and to master it. And although I have my doctorate in music theory, I got C's in music theory as an undergrad. I like did not do well, and that maybe I overcorrected that. Maybe like I was like, no, this is unacceptable, and I have to do better at it. But I think that I think it was just like my parents never forcing me to practice.
Mm.
When I teach piano, I'm not teaching piano now, but when I was teaching a lot of kids to get them to practice, I would gamify it. I would
Yeah.
make it fun. I would just try to make it not as stressful. I mean, I can be hard on students. I can make it stressful, especially if they have competitions coming up or some kind of like performance coming up. Then like that kind of, you know, the Russian piano training that I've had, that kind of comes out a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that, you know, just really finding a way to enjoy the process. I actually really love to do exercises like scales. Like I really like to
Uh-huh.
do the boring stuff. I really like to look at music and figure out how it works. It's why I'm a music
Mm.
analyst. I love to like look at, you know, study scores and do stuff that other people, other musicians might think, oh, this is kind of like not my thing. You know, this is kind of boring, but I really like it.
Yeah.
So I think all of that really makes a difference. And there was a long time in my life where I was thinking music is all I have a talent for. I'm not good at anything else. And now like I realize that's not correct. I think that
Hmm.
I think that I think that like your surroundings really make a difference to what you decide to go
For
into.
sure.
I think that there are certain things that were not modeled to me. I think that if somebody had modeled what it was like to be a film composer, what it was like to create music, I think that, or maybe I had like, if I had more jazz in my training,
Hmm.
I would be a different musician, to be honest. And I'm
Yeah.
very much like, I appreciate where I am. I'm proud of where I ended up, but it really does depend on what you're being exposed to. That
Right.
really shapes, where your path is going to take you.
Yeah. 100%. And as you were talking, I was thinking back to my piano days
Hmm.
and the very first,
They weren't positive, right?
well, the my very first teacher that I had, um, I'm trying to remember how old I was. I was young. I wasn't six, but I was older than that, but I was young. And this piano teacher, like however she taught me, I can't even remember,
Yeah.
but I loved it. I really did. I loved training with her and just whatever we were playing, I got it
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
And then we moved, and so I had to find a new piano teacher, and she was hard, and she also
Serious. Yeah.
serious, and she also, when I took in the music sheets that I had with my other teacher, I remember she said, no way. She kind of said like, no way, she didn't say it like that bitchy, but she was like, really, you played this? This is very advanced. And so,
Like she was doubting your
yes,
ability.
yeah, like real, like, but I'm like, well, where the hell would I get this sheet music from? I didn't go buy it at the store. So
Yeah.
it was, it was what I was playing with my other teacher. And so that's when it became not so fun. And then over the years, it kind of got better. But like, like, my parents and my mom and dad were definitely the ones that were like, you have to practice an hour a day. And
Yikes.
so it was kind of like that. And
Yeah.
but I definitely had my moments because we would have concerts and I would have to do duets with people, and that was fun.
Yeah.
And then I remember talking to you about the theory
Oh, did you? You
competitions.
hated the theory, right?
I didn't really like it, and
Yeah.
it
Well,
was kind of tough for me. It was kind of
yeah,
tough for me.
theory. So for like when you're in piano lessons, when you're a kid and you're taking music lessons, you know what? There's really no time to do music theory. Like music theory is really its own separate. I mean,
Yeah.
it's integral. It's integral to learning how to play your instrument. And
Yes.
the more music theory you know, the more that the faster you'll read music. Honestly, you will read music faster. You will be able to sight read better. Sight reading is when you that's learning music fast, right? That's learning.
Yeah.
It's like reading a book. So when I look at a piece of music,
Right.
I'm like literally reading it like a book. I just like play it
Yes.
and I have flow. So to have that kind of flow, you have to understand how music works. So that is music theory. And it's something that it's hard when you're a kid learning lessons, and it really takes a special teacher that knows how to incorporate it, kind of like sneaking vegetables into
Yes.
your food. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when parents do that. that's kind of like how it
Right.
is for music theory. You have to kind of like sneak it in there and not make it so like serious, you know,
Yeah.
because it is just part of the language.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say that it's all about how the teacher just really delivers that
Yeah.
message of you know, music. You know, how are you going to take what you're learning in music theory and like apply it to your instrument? That's you know, like, you know, when you're a kid, you're doing all these worksheets, right? You're doing like worksheets and working out of a workbook, and it's really hard to see how that connects to the pieces that you're playing.
Hmm.
So I think that you know, I think that it does take, you know, some really strong pedagogical skills for a
Yes.
music teacher to know how to do that. And you know what? I think that when you're a kid, and I'm speaking to all of the parents, you know, that are like trying to get their kids to practice, especially in a
Right.
pandemic, you know, to get your kids to practice, you have to gamify it in some way.
Right.
You have to put in some kind of reward system. And the reward system doesn't have to be expensive. You know, it can be something, you know, something really simple, just honoring their practice or whatever. One thing that's doing really well at my Etsy store, because I have an Etsy store in addition to, you know, my Shopify store. My digital downloads are doing very well, and
Awesome.
I do a lot of like certificates. Those are doing really well. The certificates and the practice charts are doing very well.
Awesome.
And it's because you can download it and you just keep track of your progress. You put like, kids love it. Kids love to put little stickers on the
Yes.
days that they practiced, you know, and
Oh
then
my
like
gosh.
you could have the teacher sign off on it, or you can have the, you know, the parent say, oh, good. Okay. So out of 30 days, you practiced 20. That's awesome. Here's your reward, you know, let's
Yes.
go out and get pizza or something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it doesn't have to be a big deal, but you know, I think that no matter what kind of art you're making, no matter, you know, what it is you're doing, I think you need to like really see your progress. I think progress
Yes.
is really really important. um, I remember I was listening to, do you ever, Clarissa, do you ever listen to the Life School by any chance? Brooke Castillo?
Castillo. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yes, the life coach. So
Mm-hmm.
before like the pandemic hit, I was listening to her a lot. Like once the pandemic hit, I actually stopped listening to all podcasts.
Right. I know. I kind of did too, because
Yeah,
I wasn't driving to work,
yeah,
because that's
yeah.
when I would listen to
And
it.
we're not driving anymore, right? Like I have
Yeah.
to say, you know, for one of the benefits of being, you know, this whole pandemic is that we no longer have to do those huge commutes. You
Oh
have a
my
huge
God.
commute. I had a huge commute.
You did.
Yeah,
Yes.
I just huge. So it's nice to not do that. But it's
Right.
also like, you know, when the pandemic hit, it was information overload in terms of, oh, whoa, now I have to know all this tech. I have to teach, and this is
Yes.
kicking my butt. So I just couldn't take all the other information. But one
Yeah.
thing that Brooke Castillo was talking about, because she also coaches on weight loss,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a system that she was talking about, and just, it was like having a container and like putting marbles in that container or something like that, but like it was a visual of looking at your progress. I think that
Yes.
anything visual where you can
Yes.
see your progress, so you have like your whiteboard or something and you're like marking off days, you have your practice chart and you're putting stickers or whatever it is, but if there's something visual
Yes.
where you can see that progress, I think that's really crucial to making progress, because I think that if you want to progress in your body, like in exercise, it's very much like progressing as a musician.
Mm.
I cannot see the day-to-day difference, but if I think about, oh, I'm playing my Chopin etude, if I think about how the Chopin etude was 6 months ago, it's definitely better, right? You can
Yes.
definitely like see, it's tangible, but you can't really see that day to day. So it's really nice to have something visual where you're creating that, you know, sense of progress that you can visually see it.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
satisfying. It's totally
Yeah.
satisfying.
And that's kind of, and that's kind of how I see my vision board, or the vision board is,
Yeah.
you see, I have it so I can see it every day. And, like from day one to day two, maybe, you're not really noticing change, but then, you look a quarter into the year and it's like, oh my God,
Hmm.
I did this already. That's
Yeah.
pretty freaking amazing.
Right. Right.
So I'm totally with you, totally
Yeah.
with you. Um, I'm going to see if there's any other questions, because I
Okay.
try to not
Hi,
look too
Nicole.
much.
Hi, Eva. I saw Eva over here
Hello.
too.
Oh, awesome. And my friend Abraham is here.
Also, oh,
Um,
Dax. I saw Dax. Hey, Dax.
hello. And
Katie,
Howie?
My friend Katie just had, Katie Waltman just had
Yes.
a baby. She had a baby girl.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Congrats. She has
Yes.
beautiful jewelry.
I know, right? I'm wearing some of it
So,
right now. I'm wearing
oh,
Katie Waltman jewelry right
nice.
now.
I
Yes.
love it.
I always
I
have like
love
a Katie
it.
Waltman necklace or some piece that I'm always just like, I wear it until it falls apart and then I have to buy something
Yeah.
else. But it's because I
Well,
wear all this stuff in the shower. Like I never take it off. I
oh,
just
yeah.
like wear it, you know?
It's,
So
yeah, her stuff is so beautiful. Nice.
it
I
is.
have the necklace that you gave me, so thank you very much.
Yes,
It's
of
very
course. Of
beautiful.
course. Of
Oh,
course.
my friend Tracy wrote, I wish I had you both for music teachers. So positive.
Well, Tracy, I will have a program
Yes.
coming out. I'm actually, I don't even know if I'm going to violate copyright. I'll have to look this up, or violate trademark, but I want to call it Atomic Music Theory. Clarissa,
I love that.
have you read Atomic
Atomic
Habits?
Habit. Not yet. I mean,
Okay.
I have Blinkist,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
app, and so I want to say I listened to it, but you know
Right.
what? I'm so old school. I like,
You like the book?
I like turning the pages and
I agree.
highlighting
I agree.
and dog earing and stuff. So
I agree. And you
I'm
know
gonna have to
what?
get it.
You know what? When you do it that way, you will retain it, because you'll
Yes.
retain it more. And that's proven. There's actually a lot of research about
Oh
that.
yes.
So I listened to the audiobook of it, and I have not retained it all. Like I'm going to have to listen to it again, but I'm doing it.
Right.
It's because I'm multitasking, right?
I hear
That's
ya.
what
Yeah.
happens. But when you're reading, you're not multitasking. That's why you're able to retain it more. But Atomic Habits, it's just this one book that I can't believe how much I've related to it in terms of actually how it relates to musicians. I just think that all musicians should read Atomic Habits. And I've actually told all of my college students to definitely read Atomic Habits, because the book really speaks to musicians, and it speaks to setting systems in place. Like it's not about like you have to totally change your lifestyle and make all these huge changes to make progress in life. It's about like really thinking about the systems that will work for you, that set you up for success. So anyway, I like the book so much. I'm totally stealing the name. So I will have to check to see if I'm violating any kind of trademarking. But, if not, then my program is Atomic Music Theory, because
I love it.
I don't know, like I'm sure like when you're on Instagram and Facebook, you get lots of ads. Like we all get ads that are tailored right to us, based on our interests and whatnot. So I get a lot of music ads. I get a lot of ads, like the funniest ads. Like this one ad was trying to market a music production program that said, the guy literally said, you don't need music theory. You need no music theory. It's like a done for you type of like formula. I mean, music theory is formulas, and it's not very hard to learn. But anyway, the ad was so insulting. It was
my God.
It was an insult. It was like insulting to all musicians, as if like, you're too stupid to learn this. So here I've created this thing where you can like create your own art. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I get a lot of ads like that promise these really fast results. They make these promises like overnight, you can be an overnight success. You can learn this overnight, you can, like, there's tons of YouTube videos out there, like learn music theory in 16 minutes. you know, learn it intent. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
it's all these, like, what are they called? Bait, click, whatever.
Yes. Clickbait.
Clickbait. Thank you.
Clickbait. Yes.
So I am actually going to be marketing my program as the opposite. Just the because it's just not how you learn. You know,
Right.
you learn by slow, methodical practice. You learn by like slowly, like I want to like slowly massage it into your brain.
Yeah.
You know how
Yes.
music works, and it's just not an overnight. If it is overnight, it's superficial. Like, you will not retain it. You're studying for the test, you're studying for the exam, but will you ever be able to like write music using the techniques that you learn? Probably not. Like, you probably will maybe be able to do it in C major, and that's it, you know? So anyway,
that's awesome.
So yeah, so Atomic Habits is really about the long term. You know, it's all about like the long term goals, and so that's how really I model, you know, my programs, and that's, you know, kind of what I preach in my classes. That I'm always telling my students, it's yeah, you're going to work really hard right now in these 4 months. You're going to work your ass off. But it's really about, you know, what do you do with this information after you leave my class? You know, how do you put this into practice?
Right. How are you going to apply it?
How do you apply it? How do you how do you start to become a better performer? How do you start to write music that means something to you, you know? So
amazing.
Anyway, yeah.
That's so great.
So Atomic Habits, everybody should read that.
Yes.
It's just,
yeah. It's on it's on my list for sure. And, you know, and I mean, I read his blog articles and, but yeah, after hearing the Blinkist version, the 15-minute version, I'm like, okay, I need to just get this book because that is just, I know a ton was left out. So
yeah, you know, there are like some beautiful musical examples. Like he talks to the musician. That's probably, honestly, Clarissa, that's probably why I like it so much, is because
it's beautiful.
He talks to the musician. He'll say, you know, like a violinist, blah blah blah, you know. You know, and I just think that's beautiful. It's just like anything that is referencing musicians, I'm just all over it. So
for sure.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just going to check to see, is there any more comments here? I took piano for 1 school year, and I was just remembering how it was like reading a foreign language.
It is. It is. And you know what? So when I was in grad school, when you're in grad school, you have to do languages. Like, there's no getting around it. And in music, you have to choose German. You usually have to choose German, because if you're studying Western music, that's where the lineage goes, right? It comes from Germany, a lot of German composers. So I did German, I did French, and quite honestly, I was the worst student. I failed German the first time, and then French, I just did not get it. I did not get how there could be like 3 or 4 vowels, and like, how do you say that, right? You don't even say all the vowels. Like, it just did not click with me.
Yeah.
So I was terrible. I was definitely a C/D student. I had to retake German. So I know what it's like to really struggle with a language. And that's what music is. Music is a language. So I felt like those experiences for me have made me a better teacher, because now I can relate to that student who's like, oh my God, what the F is a leading tone? Like, what do I do? Like, why do I have to keep resolving this up? You know, why do I have to sound like Bach, you know, which is not the case really. But I get it. And what was the rest of that comment?
Oh, it was just like reading a foreign language. Took piano for 1 school year, and it was like a foreign language.
Yes, exactly. You know, the less foreign something will get, the more you do it. You know, so it's the practice. At some point, things will click. It's like, even though I failed German, when I went to Berlin for the first time, it was the first time I ever went to Europe. I don't know how many years ago it was, but it was definitely during the World Cup. So I don't know, that might have been like, I want to say like 2006 or 2007, 8. I don't know. But
I can't remember.
The World Cup was going on, and I remember that because the Germans, honestly, they were scaring me, because there were beer gardens all over the place.
Yes.
And they were like screaming, and to me, German screamed really loudly, sounded very
Doesn't
scary.
sound, yeah, it doesn't sound so
very
great.
welcoming. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, there was a time on that trip where I, like, how you listen to the radio and you start to tune it.
Yes.
And it suddenly becomes clear. It's like static, and it becomes clear. That was my experience in Germany, where I was so, like, I didn't know the language, but there was a point where I had spent enough time in Germany that it's like I tuned in, and all of a sudden I understood what the people around me were saying. Yeah.
Yes.
But it really depends, it's because I put myself in the context.
You have to.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I remember my parents sent me to France to stay with my godmother.
Right.
And I was taking French in high school, and I was embarrassed, at first, to like speak any kind of French. I would get made fun of, and Parisians were kind of like assholes. I'm sorry, but a lot of them were just like, oh, stupid American, and it's just like, I'm sorry, that stereotype was real for me.
Yeah.
And but then, but like you said, it's like, but with practice, and you're forced to, like, I had to fend for myself. My aunt had to work, and I had to get out on my own. And then by the end of the summer, I was like, I don't want to leave here.
Right.
I just want to stay. So
it's one of those things where it's like, even if you feel like you're not ready,
yes,
you have to do it. It's just
just do it.
Because like, you'll never feel ready for
never
anything. Like, you'll never feel ready to do anything.
That's right.
All, like, no matter, I'll just, for every single piano recital I did, the Bach was never ready. The Chopin was never effing ready. Like, it could always be better, right? And you just have to get out there and do it, even if you feel like it's not ready. So that's what you do, and put yourself, you just have to put yourself in those uncomfortable situations, and it sort of like brings you to this heightened alertness where you just make it happen, right? You just, like, whatever it is, it's kind of like you just need to have that pressure on you to make it happen.
Exactly. And I feel like, and the shorter the timeline, the better for a lot of things, because if you extend it out too much, you're just going to fill that time unnecessarily, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
But I think that applies to a lot of art. It applies to theater.
That's right.
It applies to music. It applies to, those are like those that are making, albums, making music, whatever. It's just when you're working, I'm talking to my musicians here, but, like, when you're working with a digital audio workstation, you can make edits for 10 years. There's so many things.
There's always something
that you can tweak and change in your programs. There's so much that you can do. You could add instruments, you can do just so much stuff. And when is that going to stop? When are you going to stop editing and just get your stuff out there? That takes some being humble, and it takes, like, just some trust in yourself that you can just, that it's good as it is, and you just let it go. You let that piece go. Oh yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
Mm-hmm.
And we are getting a lot of emojis. I love it.
It's Joanna.
Hi,
Joanna.
Yes, and my friend Tracy is here. My boss popped in. Hi, Paula.
I have to tell Joanna one thing. So,
please.
For my birthday, I think it was 2019, Joanna gave me the most beautiful emerald earrings, and I don't know how she knew that green. First of all, green's my favorite color, probably because my middle name is Jade. But
Yes.
green has always been my favorite color, and I've always loved emerald. And I don't know, she just somehow gave me like the most perfect gift ever. I just absolutely loved it. And my sister saw them and freaked out, and my sister has asked to borrow them over and over and over. Like my sister wants to borrow them. And
Yes.
it was finally this Christmas, 2020, that I gave them to my sister because my sister loved them so much.
Oh
But
my
I can wear
gosh.
them anytime. Like I can borrow them back. But like
Oh my gosh.
that gift affected multiple people in my family. So you
Wow.
should know that. And if anybody needs jewelry or like cute boho type clothes, you should go
Yes.
to Joanna's store. Is it what's the name
Yes.
of her store again? It's Blue Violet, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Blue Violet.
Blue Violet. Yes. She wrote green has magic in it. Glad
Yeah,
you adored them.
yeah.
And that's my birthstone. So there we
Is
go.
emerald your birthstone?
Another connection here. Yeah, May.
Right, because you know what? Your
Yes.
birthday is my dad's birthday. Like
Oh
we
my
have, like
God.
Clarissa, we have so much in common.
We do.
Like you were born, so you and my dad share May 14th, right?
Yep.
May 14th, you're both are Tauruses, right?
Yes.
Taurus.
Yes.
And my dad's name is Robbie.
Yes, and that's my husband's name for people who don't know.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
I know. We have, and I think you have do you have some Filipino heritage?
Yes.
Yeah. And so
I'm a
we
quarter.
have that.
Yeah, I'm a quarter
Yeah.
Filipino.
So
Yeah.
we have that as well. So
yeah.
Joanna wrote Blue Violet. Yes.
It's true,
So,
you guys. Go to Blue Violet. Check
oh,
out
my necklace.
stuff.
My
are you
necklace.
wearing Blue Violet stuff?
Yes.
Oh,
my
it's
necklace.
Cute.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
wow,
love
that is
this
cute.
necklace.
That
It's
is
like,
cute.
oh, and these earrings too.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So like I haven't even been like I'm living in my yoga pants. So I haven't even been getting, I haven't even been wearing jewelry or anything like that. So anyway, I'm impressed.
Yes, I had the
Melissa.
opportunity.
You're putting on makeup and
getting
your jewelry on.
I went into work today, so it's like
did?
I had to drive in. We had a meeting today, so and I had to present. So I'm like, okay. I better like put on some. Yeah. And right now I got a filter on. I love these Instagram filters.
Oh, cool.
I do.
If I had figured out how to do it, I probably would have done it too.
They're just fun.
I definitely on Zoom, I definitely have the touch up your appearance.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't do
yeah.
like
100%.
I don't do the full touch up, but I do just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, which just, it just just is a little bit, a little bit more flattering.
I know. I feel like my skin tone is like evened out. So.
But if you guys don't know, Clarissa has perfect skin. I know. Because
oh my gosh, you're so
skin.
funny.
Yeah.
No. Okay, we have another person. Hi, Audrey. Thanks for joining. And Joanna wrote Taurus, great sign. Oh, yes, it is.
Totally. The one thing though, in May, so there's like many members of my family that were born in May. It's just like
mine too.
It's like birthday overload.
Yeah.
So I need to start saving money 2 months in advance because everybody's birthday is in May. So yeah.
That is too funny. Too funny. Well, Malia, how can we connect with you? Where's the best place to find you?
Sure.
Anything else you want to share before we wrap it up?
Sure. Well, my website is musictheory.com. So that would be the place to go just to see, the new kind of products that I do. I do a lot of, so I'm a self-trained graphic artist, self-trained. I never took lessons in it or whatever. So I just design stuff that it definitely appeals more. It's definitely more on the feminine side because I definitely feel like a lot of what I create, I want to encourage girls and I want to encourage women to do music, to perform music, to make music and put their music out there. I want to lift up women. So a lot of the stuff that I make is really for them. And I think that when you're creating, no matter what kind of stuff you're creating, I think you should always have that avatar in mind. I think that,
Yes.
I don't know who said this. I'm sure you've heard this before, but when you try to create for everybody, you create for nobody.
That's right.
So you need to
Too generic.
have that avatar, that person in mind that you're creating for. And I literally think of, like, who's going to use this,
Yes.
who's going to buy this? Because when my journal came out, my mom was like, wow, Malia, it's like, it's really girly. And I'm like, good. That's exactly what this is for.
That's the point.
This isn't really for, a 15-year-old, guy, in high school, you know what I mean? Like, this is really meant for girls, and or it's just feminine. Like, it could be for, a guy if they like this kind of thing,
if they like it. Yeah.
But, so I really create, a lot of stuff for music teachers, and a lot of stuff for girls and women. And I do a lot of digital downloads. I do, lots of, my store is basically a print on demand store. So it's like you buy stuff that I've created, and then it'll be manufactured for you, like specially for you. Maybe that's something that we could talk about sometime if you ever want to get into like nitty gritty business. Yeah. So, like bags and stuff, like all kinds of merchandise. I don't know why, but Cooper just like,
he's so happy.
Hey, I don't know what his deal is right now.
Hi,
he's
Cooper.
Usually just like passed out on the couch. So Music Theory Shop, you can find all my stuff. And, from there you can find links to my Etsy shop if you prefer to shop on Etsy, or if people know of musicians. Like, I think that if you, I think that my shop really provides for those that are looking for gifts. I tend to sell a lot of stuff where people are looking for special, unique gifts, for musicians, like specifically for musicians. So I do that. And then, I'm not doing fulfillment right now. I don't really have the time and the energy to do fulfillment. So all of my books and all of my publications are just available on Amazon. The stuff through the stuff through Hal Leonard is available anywhere pretty much.
Nice.
But the stuff that I've self-published is only available on Amazon. So yeah, that'd probably be the best way. And then, Music Theory Shop, Instagram, I did take a break from social media for a while, and I really credit that. And I took a break, not just from social media, but just from a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I really credit that, with being able to publish, 7 times, and being able to just really focus and sort of think about my health. And, I became vegetarian.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just really thinking about how I can, help myself, just the longevity of myself, from a very stressful time, teaching. So anyway, those are the places though, musictheoryshop.com. That would be the place to find all of my goods. And then, just to be musically inspired, if you like pretty music things, things to look at, I'm hoping that I would be the place to come to, because that's what I want to create. I just want to create like pretty things that are for musicians.
Yes. And I have some of your journals that I bought, and I love them.
Oh, really?
Well, the ones that they're blank inside. I wish I had one here, because I use it for my coaching clients.
You have the Music Makes Me Happy.
Yes.
Stuff? Okay. Yeah.
Yes. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, and Joanna says Cooper needs his own Instagram.
He does have his own Instagram.
He does.
Cooper the Bull Boxer. There are underscores in between. But the sad issue is that I can't remember the password to get into that account, so I can't update it or anything. But he does have his own Instagram. So yeah, I know he does.
So it's there.
He could have his own YouTube channel. He's that entertaining. Yeah.
Yes, he is.
I try to put Cooper stories like in my Instagram and Facebook stories, because
Yes.
He's so cute. He's, you know, Cooper's honestly my best friend. I think that I had a student ask me, like, this is like, this is a really hard time for students, you know, not just music students, all students. It's really hard, to not have the social aspect.
Yes, for sure.
This is really, really, really tough for students. So one of my students asked, you know, what can I do to just kind of overcome that or just deal with that isolation? Because we're so isolated. And I just said, get a dog.
Yeah.
This is the time. Like, if you can get a dog, this is the time to get a dog. It's a lot of work, but it is well worth your work.
Yeah.
It is
your buddy.
Having a dog. There is just nothing like the feeling of unconditional love, that when you are returning after like 20 minutes, I'm gone 20 minutes and I come back, and the excitement in his body, like, you just will not get that from another human. I'm sorry, you won't get that from your husband or wife. Like, you just will not get that from your partner. You know, it's like, dogs are just so amazing.
I love dogs.
I just think dogs. Yeah, I think, I think the world would be a better place if just everybody had a dog, you know?
Yes, I can feel that. For sure,
so
for sure.
He's definitely just my best friend, and
yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, last question of the night, Malia. What does it mean to you to paint your path?
To paint my path, okay. And I think that's such a great title for your book, because obviously it has the dual meaning, right?
Yes.
So it has the meaning, as you guys all know, Clarissa is an artist, and she's a painter. I don't know if you do other art too, but I've mostly seen your paintings, and you do cards and like all kinds of other stuff, but like, I think predominantly it's painting.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course it means, you know, painting your path, you know, it implies a kind of uniqueness, right? To your uniqueness to your journey.
Yes.
And I think that couldn't be more true for creatives, especially musicians, and for artists, where we're carving our paths out, and nobody's path looks the same. I mean,
nobody's.
It just doesn't. My path, being a music professor, there's so many different ways. I mean, there is like certain steps you have to take, but nobody's path looks exactly the same. Nobody begins the same and ends the same. We all have to forge it in in our own way. So I just think that the title, Paint Your Path, just really honors that element of, you know, owning your unique way that you are going to do that, the unique way that you're going to forge your way to get from point A to point B, and to not like, and as hard as this is, not to compare yourself to everybody else. That is so hard. And I think that you know, not only should we not be comparing ourselves, but we shouldn't be you know, thinking that, you know, we're not good enough or having imposter syndrome. I think that we should stop saying imposter syndrome. I think we should stop like even saying it, you know?
Yeah.
I think that we should just like, whatever we're doing, it is the path, you know, and just like embrace that wherever it takes you. And especially for artists, especially for creatives, I think that we need to allow ourselves to evolve and be okay with other people evolving, you know, like when Radiohead, you know, went to OK Computer and it got all technical, they got so much slack for that, you know, because they're sort of changing their style, you know, going from like acoustic to being more electronic. But you know what? Every artist deserves to change. Every artist deserves to evolve. We all have that right, and we should be evolving. So that's part of our paths, and it's not going to look like anybody else's. And I think that that's something that we need to like really honor.
Yes, thank you. I love that. Yeah, everything is unique, and I think if we're not growing, we're dying. So
Right.
that's just my 2 cents is,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and who I am today is not, you know, necessarily the same person I was even yesterday, and always
And
learning
that's a good
something
thing.
new.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always learning something new and discovering, being curious.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
All right. And Joanna wrote, the idea is truly transcendent. The moment is the path, liberating to truly be in the now.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. Oh my gosh, Malia, I could talk to you forever, and I
I
haven't
know.
seen you in a while. And this has just been so much fun. And
Yeah.
thank
Thank you
you
for
to,
having me.
yeah, and
Thank you for doing this. And I know that, you know, you're showing up for you know, all the people that, you know, I know that you're helping so many people, you know, in your Facebook group and in your, you know, all of your leadership positions and all of that. And I know that you're, you know, you're really making a difference, you know, for other people. So
thanks, Malia.
yeah,
Likewise,
yeah.
likewise. That's how
So
I feel about you.
yeah.
So
Thanks.
yeah, so thank you. And thank you everybody for watching.
Yeah. Thanks,
And
everybody.
yeah, and thanks for those who catch the replay. And I will see you again next week. All
Okay.
right,
It's a
everybody. Good.
plan.
Yes. All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.